for those who have witnessed a wedding objection during the speak now or forever hold your peace portion. What happened? At my cousin's wedding, when the exchanging of vows took place, my aunt shouted, "Wasn't there supposed to be a part where you could object?" or something along those lines. A member of my wife's family had a pirate-themed wedding. A rival pirate appeared and objected to the wedding. The groom dueled him with rapiers and won. I thought it was the best man's responsibility to fight off all challengers. No, he just beats them off. The groom himself, he just stood up there and started crying and, in front of everyone, told the bride that he'd fallen out of love with her a while before, but he didn't know how to break it off. It was extremely uncomfortable. They both stepped out and 10 minutes later came back out and got married because she'd apparently told him she was pregnant. They're still together with 3 kids, and I'm not sure about the husband, but I can confirm that the wife is having an affair. Neither of them are happy, but she has a comfortable life and he doesn't have the spine to leave. This is really depressing. Nobody had said speak now, but the groom's ex still decided to get up and scream that he was her soulmate, that she forgave him for this whole thing, and that they should leave now because he'd proven his point by breaking up with her 5 years earlier, falling in love, and holding a wedding. I ate so much cake and got so drunk at that wedding. Meanwhile everyone else was screaming and throwing shit. Good times. The bride was my boyfriend's ex. No idea why they invited us. Meanwhile everyone else was screaming and throwing shit. More cake and booze for you. I'd rather eat cake and drink liquor than scream and throw shit too. Well done. One of my friends interrupted his cousin's wedding to come out of the closet. He couldn't understand why people were so pissed at him. Edit. This was the second time my friend had come out to his family. The first time was when he was a teenager about 8 years earlier, and 90% of his family that was attending said wedding was already aware. There's a time and place, and that place is definitely not a wedding and certainly not during the ceremony. Unless he's the groom. Actually, there's something I've been meaning to tell you. All of you in this room really. There's no easy way to say this, so I'm just going to do it. Okay, here it goes. You can do this. Long pause. I'm gay. Person in the crowd. Yeah, we figured that out when you invited us to a wedding between you and this guy. This happened very recently, but in a different manner than the other comments I'm seeing. 4 years, groom and best man are super close, room together, and the running joke is that they are more than friends. Later on, groom meets bride, falls in love, and proposes. New running joke is that best man is very disappointed that groom is marrying someone else. At the wedding, officiant asks if anyone has objections. Best man objects. Officiant quickly overrules the objection. It was planned, and bride thought it was a funny way to acknowledge the super close friendship between groom and best man. Did not result in anyone being kicked out or awkwardness. Fun and surprisingly appropriate. I was expecting this to end with the running joke turning out to be true and the groom and best man living happily ever after lol. Same thought it might be something for r/Seden Ligay. I was at an outdoor ceremony once with a storm coming in. The pastor was trying to move things along so that we wouldn't get caught in the rain. The reception was indoors. He asked if anyone knows of any objection, and instantly there was a loud clap of thunder. To his credit, the pastor just paused a moment and then said, "Anyone else? Alright, in that case," and finished the ceremony. Edit. The couple is still together and happily a fake. I was the +1, so I'm not super close to them. So take that. Passive aggressive supernatural objector. Wow, it sounds like he handled that perfectly. Went to a co-worker's wedding, and the maid of honor objected and admitted to being the other woman, and that the groom had been cheating with her for months. The bride left in tears and the groom immediately tried to get with the MOH, but she told him she wasn't gonna hurt the bride further, and that he needs to duck off. The bride is doing much better, and is now manager here, and I haven't heard from the groom in over a year. The MOH and bride are on speaking terms, but I don't think their relationship is gonna ever be what it used to be. I don't know what's shittier, sleeping with her friend's fiancé, or waiting until the middle of a presumably expensive wedding to tell her, and presumably in front of a crowd of friends and family. Exactly. Like, I'm glad she didn't let the marriage happen, because he's a cheater, but could she really not tell her friend before the wedding? I saw it nearly happen at my uncle's wedding. A friend of his got too drunk, and when said speak now, he smiled, started to stand up. My mother grabbed him by his hair and sat him back down by force. Edit, clarification and context. It was my mother, the groom's sister. The drunk was a close friend of both the bride and groom, so he was seated up front. He's a nice dude, but sometimes a bit of a dumbass. It was a small non-traditional wedding. They were wed in the botanical gardens by a justice of the peace. The reception was held in the same place. When you entered the area for the wedding/reception, there was an open bar, so some people helped themselves before the ceremony started, and one overindulged a bit. Friend, this is my moment. Mother, no, it's definitely not. When I was 13, we went to my second cousin's wedding. Everything is going great. They even got past the speak now or forever hold your peace part. They wrote their own vows, but before my second cousin's fiancé/wife could even begin her vows, his son got up and announced to the entire room that she was cheating on his dad with her drug dealer and he couldn't let his dad marry her. My second cousin yelled at his son to either sit down or leave. The son left. My second cousin married her anyways, and 5 years and 1 baby later he finds out it was true and they separated, but what a tweaked out to be able to afford a divorce. Finally he got married a 3rd time, but before he could get married, his 3rd now ex-wife had to pay for their divorce. This wedding had no objections. They moved to Missouri, and this time instead of separating or asking for a divorce, he decided he didn't want to be married anymore and just moved back to Cali to get back together with his 2nd ex-wife. Yep, family dinners are a little awkward. My friend almost paid me to do it at my dad's marriage, and I was so close to agreeing, but my dad overheard and stopped me. I would have done it for free if I knew how ducking crazy that stupid woman was back then. Here in the UK there's financial sanctions if the reason isn't good enough, i.e. doing it for a laugh. My friends knew me very well and warned me in advance. It was at my wedding that we had at my grandmother's house, who lives out in the country next to a cattle farm. The cows didn't make a peep till that moment, and one finally went moo. We all laughed and continued, but it was a funny moment about my wedding. A wedding I was at, one guy got up and pledged his undying love for the bride, followed by 4 or 5 others objecting for various reasons, including one guy's love for the groom. By the 2nd or 3rd objection, though, it was clear that the whole thing was a clever ruse. I found out later that it was all set up by the bride as a prank on the unsuspecting groom and family and friends. It was pretty hilarious. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to my channel for more curated daily Reddit stories.